No one in Black Hollow ever walked near house number 27 after sunset. Not because of rules. Not because of police warnings. But because the house noticed people. The structure itself looked wrong, as if it had been placed there by mistake. Its walls were cracked but standing, its roof tilted like a broken neck. Dead trees surrounded it in a perfect circle, their branches twisted inward, pointing at the house like accusing fingers. Even birds avoided the sky above it. People said the house had once belonged to a family who vanished in a single night. No blood. No screams. Just absence. And silence. Silence so heavy it pressed against the ears. But Ayaan, Rohan, Meera, and Kabir didn't believe in silence. They believed in laughter, dares, and the dangerous comfort of thinking they were smarter than everyone else. Another ghost story to control scared villagers, Rohan said, leaning back in his chair, a lazy grin on his face. Fear keeps people obedient. Kabir nodded, scrolling through his phone. Exactly. If that house was dangerous, someone would have proved it by now. Meera hesitated. Still, no one goes there. Ayaan smirked. That's the point. Tonight, we do. The challenge was born not from curiosity, but from mockery. By 11:40 p.m., they stood before house number 27. Up close, it smelled of old wood and something metallic, like rust mixed with rain. The air felt thicker, heavier, as if breathing required permission. Meera hugged her arms. Why does it feel cold? Rohan laughed. Psychology. Fear messes with the body. Kabir pulled out a flashlight. Let's end this nonsense. The lock on the front door was ancient. One hard push, and it snapped. The door opened slowly. Too slowly. As they stepped inside, the temperature dropped instantly. The flashlight flickered, not off, but dimmer, weaker, like the darkness was drinking its light. The door slammed shut behind them. The sound echoed longer than it should have. Meera jumped. Okay, that was not funny. No one touched it, Ayaan said, his voice suddenly quieter. The house was empty. No furniture. No dust. No webs. Just clean, bare walls, too clean for a place abandoned for decades. Then they heard it. A sound, not footsteps, not breathing. A whisper. It didn't come from one direction. It came from everywhere. Soft. Calm. Patient. You are late. Rohan spun around. Who's there? Silence. Then words began appearing on the wall, one line at a time, carved slowly as if by invisible claws. You were invited. Kabir's throat went dry. This is some kind of setup. Meera whispered, invited by who? The whisper returned. By yourselves. The hallway ahead stretched longer than the outside of the house should have allowed. At the end of it, a staircase descended into darkness. Ayaan felt something shift inside his chest, an instinct screaming to leave. We should go, he said. Rohan grabbed the door handle and pulled. It didn't move. He pulled harder. Nothing. The whisper spoke again, closer now. You entered by choice. A cold pressure wrapped around Meera's wrist, not a hand, not a grip, but a sensation, like being watched from inside her skin. She gasped. Something's wrong. Lights flickered overhead, though no bulbs were visible. The walls trembled slightly, as if the house had a heartbeat. Then came the final message, carved deep into the wood above the staircase. I do not punish. I reveal. Kabir laughed nervously. Reveal what? The answer came instantly. The hallway split into 4 paths. 4 doors emerged from the walls as if they had always been there. Above each door, a name burned faintly in red. Ayaan. Rohan. Meera. Kabir. The whisper softened, almost gentle. Step inside. Meera shook her head violently. No. No way. I'm not doing this. The floor behind them cracked. Darkness spilled upward like liquid shadow. The voice spoke one last time before silence claimed the house. Refuse, and remain. Fear won. One by one, they moved toward their doors. None of them noticed the same truth. The house hadn't locked them inside. It had only closed the exit. And something deep within its walls had finally found 4 willing witnesses. The moment each of them stepped inside their door, the house changed. Not loudly. Not violently. It changed politely, the way a trap closes without a sound. Ayaan. Ayaan's door shut behind him with a soft click. The room was small. Square. Perfectly lit. Too normal. In the center stood a wooden table. On it lay stacks of cash, neatly arranged. The same amount. The same color. The same smell. His stomach tightened. No, he whispered. That's not possible. A mirror covered the far wall. But it didn't reflect his present self. It showed him years younger, standing inside his father's shop, counting money with shaking hands while his father slept in the back room. Ayaan slammed his fist against the mirror. I paid it back, he shouted. I meant to. The reflection turned its head slowly and smiled. Eventually, it said, in Ayaan's own voice. The room darkened. The walls whispered together. You chose need over honesty. Once. Then again. Ayaan covered his ears, but the sound came from inside his chest. The mirror changed again, showing his father's tired eyes, the unspoken disappointment, the trust that never fully returned. No more, Ayaan begged. The room obeyed. But the words remained carved deep into the walls. Choices echo. Meera. Meera's room smelled like flowers. Soft light filtered through imaginary windows. The walls were pink, comforting, safe. She almost relaxed. Then she saw the phone on the bed. Unlocked. Messages glowing. Her fingers trembled as the screen scrolled on its own, texts she had sent, rumors she had spread, lies crafted with careful sweetness. The room filled with whispers, not accusing, not angry. Just repeating. She said this about you. She knows your secret. Everyone's laughing. A girl appeared in the corner. Crying. Her face familiar. The same girl whose life Meera had destroyed with one careless lie. I didn't touch her, Meera said desperately. I never meant to. The girl looked up. You didn't stop either. The walls began to crack, revealing mirrors behind them. Hundreds of reflections of Meera stared back, each one smiling while typing, while whispering, while pretending innocence. The whisper returned. You harmed without being seen. Meera fell to her knees, sobbing. The room faded, but not the guilt. Kabir. Kabir's room was dark. A single streetlight flickered overhead. Rain fell, though he felt none of it. A car stood crushed at the center. He knew this place. The night. The sound. The scream he never stopped hearing. No, he whispered. I left. I called for help. The scene replayed, but this time, slower. Clearer. Kabir saw himself step out of the car. Saw the blood on his hands. Saw the man lying still on the road. Then he saw himself look around. And leave. The clock on the wall began ticking. Each tick louder than the last. Tick. 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 A police report appeared in the air. Someone else's name written at the bottom. Kabir shouted, "I didn't force them to take the blame." The whisper answered calmly. "You allowed it." The ticking stopped. The darkness leaned closer. Justice delayed is justice denied. The room collapsed into blackness. Rohan. Rohan's room was empty. No furniture. No mirrors. No memories. Just darkness. He laughed. Figures. I've got nothing to hide. Lights turned on suddenly. Hundreds of people filled the room. Friends. Classmates. Strangers. All looking at him. Laughing. Mocking. But their mouths didn't move. Rohan saw himself in the center, pushing, humiliating, enjoying control. Words he had spoken echoed back, sharper than knives. You're nothing. Know your place. Pathetic. He clenched his fists. That's just confidence. The people vanished. The room shrank. The whisper spoke closer than before. You fed on weakness. A shadow formed behind him. Not touching. Just watching. Rohan's smile faded. The call. At the same moment, all four rooms trembled. The whisper returned, no longer distant. You have seen. Doors opened simultaneously. They stepped out, pale, shaking, broken in ways no wound could show. The hallway led them back together, toward the heart of the house. None of them spoke. They didn't need to. Because now they understood one terrifying truth. The house wasn't haunting them. It was showing them. And whatever waited ahead already knew. Everything they wished to forget. The hallway led them into a chamber far larger than the house should have allowed. The ceiling disappeared into darkness. The floor was smooth black stone, cold beneath their feet. Symbols covered the walls, old, sharp, watching. They pulsed faintly, like veins beneath skin. Ayaan swallowed hard. This place, it's alive. No one answered. Then the darkness at the far end shifted. Not rushed. Not violent. It simply stood up. A tall figure emerged, its outline barely visible. No horns. No claws. No fire. Just a shape darker than the shadows around it, as if light refused to exist near it. Meera grabbed Kabir's arm. That's it, she whispered. That's the demon. The figure spoke. Its voice was calm. Neither male nor female. Neither young nor old. Names limit understanding, it said. But if it comforts you, yes. Rohan forced a laugh. So what now? You kill us? Eat our souls? The figure tilted its head slightly. Why would I? The symbols on the walls brightened, revealing scenes within them, people arguing, betraying, abandoning, destroying one another. No monsters. No magic. Just humans. You misunderstand my purpose, the figure said. I do not create suffering. I observe it. Kabir's voice shook. Then why bring us here? The figure stepped forward. The air grew heavier. You were already lost, it said. I merely gave you direction. Ayaan clenched his fists. You trapped us. The figure stopped. No, it replied gently. You accepted an invitation. The floor beneath them rippled, and suddenly they were standing inside memories that did not belong to just one of them, but all. Moments of laughter that turned cruel. Silence where apologies should have been. Times they had known the right thing to do and chosen comfort instead. Meera screamed. Stop. We understand. The figure turned to her. Understanding is not change. Rohan stepped forward, anger flashing in his eyes. You think you're better than us? The figure considered this. Better? No. Older. It raised one long, shadowed hand. The symbols on the walls began to crumble, revealing countless doors behind them. Every door is a choice, it said. You walked through yours long before tonight. Kabir fell to his knees. Then what do you want? Silence stretched. Then. Witnesses. The figure's shape began to thin, stretch, multiply, appearing everywhere and nowhere at once. Demons are blamed for what humans refuse to face, it said. Your kind tells stories of us to avoid responsibility. Ayaan felt something burning on his wrist. He looked down. A faint mark, symbolic, deliberate. Meera and Kabir gasped. They bore the same mark. Rohan laughed nervously. A curse? The figure shook its head. A reminder. The chamber brightened suddenly. A door appeared behind them, the front door. Open. Night air poured in. Meera's hope broke through her fear. We can leave? The figure stepped back into shadow. Of course, it said. Punishment is inefficient. Rohan sneered. That's it? A scare and a lecture? The voice lowered. This was neither. The walls began to fade. The house exhaled. As they ran toward the exit, the final words followed them like breath on their necks. I did not kill you. I did not harm you. Your choices will do that if you let them. They crossed the threshold. The door closed gently behind them. The house stood silent once more. But the marks on their wrists burned faintly in the dark. And somewhere deep within Black Hollow, something ancient continued watching. Not with hunger, but with patience. They never spoke about house number 27 again. Not to the police. Not to their families. Not even to each other. They told themselves it was over. They were wrong. Ayaan. At first, nothing happened. Ayaan returned to his routine, convinced fear had exaggerated everything. The mark on his wrist faded to a dull shadow, easy to ignore. Then small things began to slip. A deal went wrong. A shortcut backfired. Money disappeared from his accounts, legally this time. Each loss mirrored an old lie. One night, while checking his finances, he heard a whisper behind him, not from the room, but from memory. Choices echo. Ayaan tried to steal again, to fix things. He was caught. His father stood across from him in silence, disappointment heavier than anger. That silence crushed him more than prison bars ever could. Ayaan realized too late. The house hadn't cursed him. It had removed his excuses. Meera's downfall was quieter. Friends stopped calling. Messages went unanswered. Screens filled with screenshots, old lies resurfacing, traced back to her. She denied everything. But truth spreads faster than rumors when given time. One night, alone, Meera opened her phone and saw a message from an unknown number. "You didn't touch her. You still destroyed her." She dropped the phone. Her reflection in the black screen looked unfamiliar, older, hollow. For the first time, Meera felt what she had caused. Isolation. She wasn't attacked. She was understood. And that understanding broke her. Kabir. Kabir tried to live normally. But sleep abandoned him. Every night, the ticking returned. Not from a clock. From his chest. He visited the crash site often, standing where he had once fled. Eventually, guilt pushed him to the police. New evidence surfaced days later, dashcam footage, delayed but undeniable. Kabir confessed. The officer listening didn't look surprised. As Kabir was taken away, he felt something strange. Relief. The mark on his wrist faded completely. Justice, once avoided, finally arrived. Rohan. Rohan mocked them all. "Fear changes people," he said. "I'm fine." And for a while, he was. Still sharp. Still cruel. Still winning. Then the voice returned. Not in the dark. In daylight. During a meeting. During laughter. During silence. "You never changed." People began to leave Rohan's life. Not dramatically, just quietly. Opportunities closed. Trust eroded. One night, alone, Rohan stared at the mark on his wrist, now darker than ever. "I beat you," he whispered. The lights went out. In the reflection of the window, something stood behind him. Not touching. Just watching. Rohan screamed for help. No one came. In the morning, his apartment was empty. The police found no signs of struggle. Only a single message carved into the wall. "I do not punish. You do." The house. House number 27 still stands. Unchanged. It doesn't chase. It doesn't hunt. It waits. For those who believe evil is something external. Something with claws and teeth. The house knows better. Moral. The demon never killed them. It never needed to. Their lies, cruelty, silence, and cowardice. Did the work perfectly? Evil is not always a monster that attacks you. Sometimes it is the life you build from your own choices. And when you finally face it,